Today, she'd marry Raj, the man who'd stolen her heart at a festival 2 years ago, under a sky painted with lanterns and stars. His dimpled smile, his gentle words, "You're my world, Aisha," had convinced her love could conquer anything. Even the whispers about his family, Raj came from wealth, the kind that lived in marble mansions and threw parties where champagne flowed like rivers. The Kapoors were high society, their names synonymous with status in this bustling city of glass skyscrapers and old traditions. Aisha, born in a village where her mother still cooked over a clay stove, knew the gap was wide. She'd seen it in Mrs. Kapoor's pursed lips during their first meeting, heard it in Mr. Kapoor's gruff, "We have expectations, you know." But Raja's love was her anchor. "They'll come around," he promised, his hand warm in hers. "They just need time." Aisha believed him, pouring her soul into wedding plans that wove her village's vibrant rituals, henna nights, folk songs, with the Kapoor's love for grandeur. She dreamed of a day that would unite them all. The venue was a spectacle. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbows across silk-draped walls, jasmine garlands perfumed the air, and drums beat a rhythm that pulsed like Aisha's own heart. She walked the aisle, her veil trailing like a comet's tail, every step steady despite the weight of 1,000 eyes. Raj waited at the altar, his sherwani crisp, his gaze locked on her like she was the only soul in the room. "You're beautiful," he mouthed, and her cheeks warmed. The vows were a blur of promises and tears, rings slipping onto fingers with the weight of forever. Aisha felt invincible, her love for Raj a shield against the world. But the world, it seemed, had other plans. The family blessings began, a sacred moment where elders showered the couple with wisdom and rice. Mrs. Kapoor approached first, her sari glittering with sequins, her smile tight as a drum. Aisha leaned forward, expecting warmth, a mother's embrace. Instead, a giggle escaped Mrs. Kapoor's lips, sharp and sudden, like a glass shattering. She turned to her sister-in-law, whispering loud enough for the front row to hear, "Look at her, so dark, like she's been toiling in the fields. What will our grandchildren look like?" The words sliced through Aisha, quick and deep, but before she could process them, laughter erupted. It started soft, a chuckle from an ant, then spread like wildfire. Mr. Kapoor's booming laugh joined in. "Raj, son, you sure? We thought you'd pick someone brighter." The word "brighter" landed like a slap, heavy with meaning, not just skin, but worth, status, everything Aisha wasn't in their eyes. The hall spun. Camera flashes caught Aisha's frozen smile, her eyes wide with shock. Raja's cousins, barely out of their teens, snickered openly. "Auntie, forgot your fairness cream today," one quipped, sparking more laughter. Aisha's heart pounded, a trapped bird battering her ribs. She looked to Raj, pleading silently for him to stop this, to stand up, to fight for her. But he stood there, cheeks flushed, muttering, "Mom, please." His voice was weak, swallowed by the growing chorus of mockery. Aisha's bridesmaids froze, Priya's hand tightening on her arm, but tradition demanded silence during blessings. Aisha's mother, seated across the aisle, clenched her fists, her weathered face a mask of restraint. She'd raised Aisha to be proud, to see her dark skin as a badge of resilience, but this? This was a public execution of that pride. Memories flooded Aisha, schoolyard taunts of "Kali," ads screaming that fair was beautiful, the sting of being overlooked for better matches. She'd fought those battles, built herself into a woman who stood tall. But now, on her wedding day, surrounded by silk and flowers, she felt small, exposed, her worth stripped bare by people meant to be family. The laughter grew louder, relatives pointing, whispering, some not even bothering to hide their disdain. "She's not one of us," an uncle muttered, sipping his drink. Aisha's throat tightened, tears burning, but she refused to let them fall. "Not here. Not now," she excused herself, murmuring about needing air, and fled to the bridal suite. Alone, the dam broke. Tears streamed down, smudging kohl and mascara, her reflection a stranger in the mirror. "How could they?" she whispered, her voice cracking. How could he let them? The lehenga, once a symbol of joy, felt like a costume, mocking her dreams. She sank to the floor, clutching her knees, replaying every giggle, every jab. Was love worth this? Should she walk away, call off the life she'd planned with Raj? The thought tore at her, but so did the betrayal. A soft knock interrupted her sobs. Raj's voice, hesitant, "Aisha, I'm so sorry. They're just, old-fashioned. Please, don't let this ruin our day." She opened the door, eyes blazing. "Ruin our day?" "They laughed at me, Raj. At my skin, my existence. And you stood there." Her voice shook, anger and hurt spilling over. Raj reached for her, but she stepped back. "I thought you saw me, really saw me. But your silence, it's louder than their laughter." He hung his head, promising change, swearing he'd talk to them, but his words felt like bandages on a broken bone. Doubt crept in, cold and heavy. Could she trust him to stand by her? Priya burst in, her face fierce. "Aisha, you're stronger than this. If you love him, fight for it. Don't let their ignorance win." Her words were a lifeline, pulling Aisha from the edge. She wiped her face, straightened her spine. "You're right. I won't break." She returned to the hall, head high, smile plastered on, but the sting lingered. Every glance from the Kapoors was a reminder of their judgment. Dinner was a blur of clinking plates and forced chatter, lavish curries untouched on Aisha's plate. Mrs. Kapoor's voice cut through, "In our family, we value certain aesthetics." Aisha gripped her fork, biting back a retort. The reception dragged on, dances and to 10/10/2025 5:31 a.m. Pakistan Standard Time masking the tension. Aisha moved through it like a ghost, her joy stolen, her heart bruised. Then, her phone buzzed in her purse, an unknown number. She ignored it, but it rang again, insistent, cutting through the noise. Stepping into a quiet corner, she answered, her voice flat. "Hello." A familiar voice, warm but urgent, crackled through. "Aisha, my dear, it's Uncle Vikram. I have news that will change everything." Aisha's breath caught. Uncle Vikram, her father's old business partner, hadn't been seen in years, not since a vague falling out after her father's death. "Your father left something for you," he said. "A legacy you never knew about. Meet me tomorrow, but know this, you're not who they think you are." The call ended, leaving Aisha stunned. Her father, the farmer who died with little but love to his name, had a legacy. Her mind raced, questions piling up like storm clouds. She slipped back into the reception, phone clutched tight, a spark of hope flickering amidst the pain. Raj noticed her distraction. "Who was that?" he asked, brow furrowed. "No one," she said, too raw to share. The night ended with strained goodbyes, the Kapoor's smugness untouched, unaware of the shift brewing. Aisha lay awake later, Raj asleep beside her, the laughter still echoing in her mind. But Uncle Vikram's words pulsed louder, "You're not who they think you are." One call, one secret. Aisha woke to sunlight streaming through the honeymoon suite's silk curtains, the city skyline glinting beyond. Raj snored softly beside her, his face peaceful, oblivious to the storm still raging in her heart. Last night's laughter from his family, the cruel jabs at her dark skin, the mocking whispers about brighter grandchildren, clung to her like a bruise. But Uncle Vikram's cryptic phone call echoed louder, "You're not who they think you are." A legacy, he'd said. A secret her father left behind. Aisha slipped out of bed, her bare feet cold on the marble floor, her mind racing. What could it be? Her father, the village farmer who taught her to chase stars, not wealth, had died with little but love. Or so she thought. She dressed quickly, a simple kurta over jeans, and left a note for Raj, "Back soon. Need time." Her heart tugged, she loved him, but his silence during the wedding humiliation stung deep. She met Uncle Vikram at a cozy cafe downtown, its wooden tables worn smooth by years of stories. He was older now, his hair silver, but his eyes held the same warmth she remembered from childhood visits. "Aisha," he said, sliding a steaming chai toward her, your father wasn't just a farmer. He was an inventor, a genius who designed a water purification system that's now used in villages across the country. Aisha's breath caught, her chai untouched. He patented it before he died, Vikram continued, but kept it secret, trusting me to manage it until you were ready. He wanted you to find love for you, not money. He pushed a folder across the table, thick with documents, patents, bank statements, contracts. Her father's name, scrawled in his familiar handwriting, stared back. The numbers were staggering, millions, investments that had grown like a quiet empire. Aisha's hands shook as she flipped through the pages. This is mine, she whispered. Vikram nodded. You're the heiress to a fortune, Aisha. More than that, you're the daughter of a man who changed lives. Her mind reeled. Her father, who'd mended their roof with borrowed tin, who'd laughed off hardship with bedtime tales, had built this? Why now? She asked, voice trembling. Vikram's face softened. I saw the wedding photos online, the comments, the laughter. I couldn't stay silent. You deserve to know your worth. Aisha's eyes burned with tears, not of pain this time, but of pride. This wasn't just money, it was power, a shield against the world's cruelty, a chance to rewrite her story. She returned home, the folder hidden in her bag, her heart a battlefield of emotions. Raj was awake, worry etched on his face. Where were you? I was scared. She wanted to tell him, to share the weight of this secret, but the memory of his family's scorn held her back. Just needed air, she said, her voice steady but distant. The Kapoors had invited them for a post-wedding lunch, a chance to bond as family. Mrs. Kapoor had texted, her words dripping with formality. Aisha's stomach churned, but she agreed, a plan forming. If they wanted to judge her, let them face the truth. The lunch was at the Kapoor's mansion, a sprawling estate with fountains and polished floors that screamed wealth. The family gathered around a long table, silver platters piled with biryani and sweets. Mrs. Kapoor, in a silk sari, smiled thinly. Aisha, dear, you're awfully quiet. Adjusting to our ways? The words were sugar-coated, but the jab was clear. A cousin smirked, another aunt whispered something about village charm. Aisha's grip tightened on her glass, the laughter from the wedding echoing in her ears. She'd had enough. She stood, her voice calm but firm. I have something to share. All eyes turned to her, some curious, some smug. She pulled out her phone, dialing Uncle Vikram on speaker. Tell them, she said. His voice filled the room, steady and commanding. Aisha is the heiress to a multi-million-dollar empire. Her father's water purification invention powers villages nationwide. She's richer than all of you combined, and her heart is worth more than your wealth. Silence crashed over the table like a tidal wave. Mrs. Kapoor's teacup clattered, spilling chai. Mr. Kapoor's jaw dropped, his fork frozen midair. The cousin's smirks vanished, replaced by wide-eyed shock. Aisha met their gazes, her voice unwavering. You laughed at me, at my skin, my roots. But my father's legacy, my legacy, proves I'm more than your prejudice. Mrs. Kapoor stammered, we didn't know. We were wrong, Beta. Her voice cracked, her arrogance crumbling. Mr. Kapoor nodded, mumbling apologies, his usual bluster gone. The aunts and cousins shifted uncomfortably, some offering weak smiles, others avoiding her eyes. Raj reached for her hand, his voice soft but proud. I always knew you were special, Aisha. This changes nothing for me. I love you for you. His words warmed her, but she wasn't done. Love isn't enough if it comes with conditions, she said, looking at the family. If you can't accept me, my skin, my story, then I don't need this table. The room stayed quiet, the weight of her words sinking in. Mrs. Kapoor stood, tears in her eyes, and hugged her. Forgive us. We've been blind. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Aisha felt a knot loosen in her chest, the humiliation fading, replaced by a quiet strength. word spread fast. By evening, social media buzzed with the story, village bride shocks elite family with million-dollar legacy. Aisha's phone lit up with messages, strangers calling her an inspiration, a beacon against colorism. She and Raj jetted off to the Maldives for their honeymoon, the turquoise waters a mirror to her newfound peace. Over candlelit dinners, they talked, really talked. I failed you at the wedding, Raj admitted, eyes downcast. I should have stopped them. I'll spend my life proving I'm better. Aisha squeezed his hand. We'll fight this together, prejudice, ignorance, all of it. Their love deepened, rooted now in truth and resolve. Back home, Aisha didn't sit on her wealth. She launched scholarships for dark-skinned girls, her father's name on every award. She funded campaigns against colorism, her face on billboards with the slogan, "Every shade shines." The Kapoors changed too. Mr. Kapoor posted a public apology on X, viral for its honesty. We judged wrongly. Aisha taught us better. Mrs. Kapoor joined diversity workshops, her transformation slow but earnest. A distant cousin, Meera, confessed her own struggles with colorism, tears streaming as she thanked Aisha for speaking out. Bonds formed, not just with Raj but with a family learning to see beyond skin. Aisha visited her village, the air thick with dust and memories. She donated millions to build a school named after her father, the ribbon cutting a celebration of cheers and drums. Her mother, eyes glistening, hugged her tight. Your father's smiling down. You turned pain into power. Aisha's heart swelled. This was her true legacy, not just money, but change. Her own YouTube channel, born from her story, exploded with followers, each video a call to embrace one's worth. Your skin, your roots, they're your strength, she told her audience, her voice steady, her eyes bright. Months later, at a family reunion, the Kapoors threw a surprise party for Aisha, toasting her courage. Laughter filled the air, genuine now, not cruel. Raj pulled her close, whispering, "We're pregnant." Aisha's tears fell, a new life, a new generation free from the shadows of bias. Uncle Vikram joined them, now a partner in her business, his pride like a father's. The phone call that night, so brief yet so seismic, had shifted everything, not just her status, but her spirit, her future.